another goal for the new year that you may not be thinking about. One of the things that I guess are part of some of my values and something that I really loved since I was a child was achieving mastery. Maybe that's, I think the first time that I wanted to have mastery, and you probably did too, was learning how to walk, learning how to ride a bicycle. But at some point, I think a lot of us detach from achieving mastery. Now, I don't want to rag on the school system, but I think that the school system can be the killer of mastery. If we're lucky, we have parents and adults around us that support us in achieving mastery in a sport or an instrument or something like that. We may also be distracted by the environment. Achieving mastery is 70% effort, 20% talent, and 10% having the right teachers. And in that effort, it's not always fun. When you learn how to play the piano, you have to practice scales as well. And I think in the choices of topics of what we study, the educations that we do in universities, they're not always things where we get an immediate sense of improving our skill set to slowly start building mastery. And I think I can say, I trained as a lawyer for 4 years. I think that by the time that I graduated law school, I was at best a beginner. And that's after 4 years. They say it takes about 10,000 hours to achieve mastery. I don't know if that's true, because it doesn't depend on what it is. Now, mastery can be daunting, especially if it's something that you not necessarily enjoy that much. Why don't you just set a goal to achieve mastery in something that isn't for your job, it isn't to improve your life, but it's just about enjoying the moment. And for instance, I took a homebrewing coffee workshop a few days ago. And part of that workshop was also learn how to make latte art, those little hearts and all those little things. I don't plan to be a barista, but wouldn't it be fun to practice 15 minutes a day in the art of making coffee? And so maybe a goal that you should set for yourself, and you can work on the time frames, but what would happen if you, as a technique, said, I will spend 15 minutes a day on this thing where I can achieve mastery, just for the fun of it. No other goal or achievement or whatever that you need out of it. And you spend another 3 hours, 2 times 1.5 hours, or 3 times 1 hour, to just master the skill, a sport, an instrument, latte art. And so, what would happen if you did that? Could you pair that with an NLP technique if it's hard to sort of step into? Well, you could also spend 1 minute a day future pacing yourself, meaning is that you place yourself in your future self and imagine what you would see, hear, and feel if you already had mastery. You can also maybe watch a YouTube video or watch someone else who has mastery and see them work, and then float your mind into their shoes. You call that the second perceptual position of NLP. Float your mind in their shoes inside that video. What would you see, hear, and feel when they are doing their thing, when they are experiencing that flow? Flow is another marker of well-being. And so that's something that you can sort of like light up the brain and go, wow, it would be really cool to have this mastery. A third thing is that if you would imagine from the third perceptual position, dissociation, meaning you see yourself over there doing this thing in mastery, but also the whole process of practicing and practicing and practicing and practicing and achieving mastery in something else where you do have mastery, then what were the stepping stones when you look at it from this scientific observer perspective? What was required for you to achieve mastery in something that you already achieved? And so you can sort of study it in that way as well. And that's a clever way to use perceptual positions and future pacing in achieving mastery just for fun, as a gift that you give to yourself. And wouldn't it be fun if it could also be a gift for someone else in this process?